Again, that was Ed O'Keefe joining us just moments ago. And as we take a look back at scenes on the floors of the chambers of the House and the Senate as the swearing in of the 115th Congress is now underway, we do want to speak to some breaking news. Just moments ago, CBS News has confirmed that House Republicans, as the result of an emergency meeting called in what reports are suggesting the Capitol basement, House Republicans have now voted to reverse course on the rules change that we have been speaking of throughout the morning that effectively gutted the Office of Congressional Ethics. It was a change agreed to by a vote of only House Republicans last night behind closed doors. Again, it was essentially moving the auspices of the OCE under the House Ethics Committee, which would essentially have had the House policing itself, lawmakers policing other lawmakers. It had been the Office of Congressional Ethics, an independent watchdog put in place in 2008. Again, when word came that it had been effectively gutted, the outcry was swift and bipartisan. We should also note that Donald Trump did tweet about this this morning. He had called the Office of Congressional Ethics unfair, though he had also wondered in the tweet why the House GOP had made weakening it a #1 priority with so many other things, as he tweeted, still to be done. Again, there was bipartisan outcry against it. And now to discuss it, we're joined by CBS Radio News' Steve Dorsey, who is covering the story and now joins me by phone. Again, this reversal, Steve, in a certain way seems and feels about as swift as the news was that we first learned last night.
Hey, good afternoon, Josh. Yeah, this was a last-minute move, really hours before the entire House floor was set to vote on this, and it comes after, as you said, pressure from President-elect Donald Trump on Twitter criticizing this, and also from pushback from House Republican leaders, including Speaker Paul Ryan.
Now, Steve, interesting, because we should note and parse what little we do have from the president-elect. It did seem as though, at first read, that Donald Trump was criticizing what had been done by the House GOP. However, in reading it, it should be pointed out that he himself called the independent ethics watchdog unfair, and he seemed to be criticizing the timing of the rules change, not so much the rules change itself.
Right. I mean, he criticized the timing of it, saying that there were other priorities Capitol Hill should be focusing on. But this follows a lot of backlash because Republicans did this over a long holiday weekend yesterday behind closed doors with very little public notice. And this is something that Democrats have been criticizing, especially House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, as well as some watchdog groups.
And also, it does bear mentioning that the Speaker, Paul Ryan, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, also opposed this measure. It still did pass. What does it suggest, then, about perhaps the hold that Ryan and McCarthy have on their caucus?
Oh, perhaps it's easing up a bit. I mean, this was a significant move by House Republicans to defy their own leadership before this new Congress even got underway this afternoon. So what does this signal about how Republicans will work with leadership and how the House will function? I think will be interesting to follow.
And again, we should note the breaking news here. House Republicans, as the result of an emergency meeting reportedly held in a Capitol basement room, have reversed course, pulling the rules change agreed to last night that it had effectively gutted the Office of Congressional Ethics. If only for context's sake here then, Steve, just how surprising was last night's news?
I think people who have been watching Congress were surprised because this is something that wasn't really talked much about in the lead up of into the New Year's holiday weekend, and it was a really last minute rules change that really thrust House Republicans into the spotlight on a day they were supposed to be celebrating this new momentum they have in Congress.
It is, again, a rules change that, to repeat once again, a rules change that has been now reversed, again, as the House GOP membership will not seek to move the Office of Congressional Ethics under the House Ethics Committee, which would have effectively gutted, if not altogether eradicated it. CBS Radio News' Steve Dorsey, we do very much appreciate the time.
Thanks, Josh.